Hello everybody, today we're talking about bubbles with Professor Cap. Let's get started. Hello everybody, welcome to lesson number 2 in our Vanguard Lessons series. I heard a lot of people liked the last one, so I decided to keep it going. Let us know, like, share, subscribe, give us the comments. Let us know if you want to keep seeing these types of videos. But today is kind of a continuation of what we talked about in the last video, so Phantom Nate's probably going to put a link up here on that one. So make sure you maybe skim that one before you come to this one. So, today we're talking about Vanguard bubbles, similar to high prices, but a very different occurrence. For example, let's look here. I've split this up into 2 different ideas. You got boxes and you got singles. Now, singles come from boxes, so these 2 things are kind of related, as you could imagine. So, a good example is a current one. Well, there's a very current one and there's a current-ish one that just passed. So, we're going to talk about the current one to develop what exactly is a bubble appearing and what a bubble looks like once it's popped. So, everyone knows Cosmic Hero Grandgallop. It is the triple R in Cosmic Roar that is probably the most expensive card. It's popping around $30, $35 right now at release. It's expensive. And the SP's at $90. That's a lot of money. Now, why does this happen? Well, part of it has to do with the supply, the demand kind of thing, as more people open. But the way a bubble forms is, for example, we opened 120 packs of pre-release kit Cosmic Roar. We opened 0 Grandgallop. That could be indicative of a short print. It means that Bushiroad's like, nah, you don't get your Grandgallops unless you buy a lot. So this gives people, the people who we talked about last time, the opportunity of arbitrage. This gives them the incentive. Remember, boxes go for about $35 online. So if you open a box, you rip that Grandgallop, you automatically made your money back. Everything else is just profit. So people then start buying a lot of boxes. If they pull an SP, they've made 3 boxes. So this incentivizes people to start buying a lot of boxes and cases just to open product. This is good for the game, believe it or not, but it develops a bubble for the game, and bubbles tend to pop. So what you see happening is the pre-release price of Grandgallop is going to be high. The post-release price for a while is going to be high, but the problem is people take it to too far the extreme. Too many people start to enter the market of buying these boxes. So initially, set drops. People see that Grandgallop is $35. You can make your money by think about it as a lottery ticket, man. You buy this box, you open this card, you make your whole money back. This, for some people, gives them a chance. I'm going to buy a case. We're going to see how many Grandgallops I pull. We're going to sell it all, liquidate it. We're going to make the money. And for the first couple of people who do this, they do make money. And you see them making money. And you're like, man, I want to make money too. So you start buying boxes and you start casing up, and so you start spending this money, but now you're slowly putting more and more Grandgallops onto the market, shifting the supply. We talked about this last time. Supply demand, shifting the supply outward and increasing it, which subsequently decreases the price of a card. Okay? So, even though you want to make money, as more people try to do that, they each make less money. So, and then eventually, too many people are buying the cases, too many people are buying the boxes. Finally, anyone who wants Grandgallop now has Grandgallops. They've realized the card may not be as good as previously intended. The bubble pops, and we have the Dotex, the TSD, the CBD, the Minerva, the Glendios conclusion. Okay, Glendios is probably my favorite example. Glendios, though being a good card, was not an amazing card. Things Saber Dragon and Dotex are amazing cards. It's just we took it too far. So let's take BT17, BT16, and GBT01 as an example. People, they sold out. Bushiroad released press releases that the first printing, sold out. This means people knew the hype for Dotex and people knew the hype for Thing Saver Dragon was so huge that they could make their money back if they just bought enough to pull a lot of these and sell them. So they did. And it worked for a while. But then more people started opening boxes. And more people started opening boxes. And more people started opening boxes. Shifting the line of supply to the point where people, Dotex was an issue because to have Dotex, you needed Dote. And Dote was already expensive for reasons talked about in the previous video. So Dote was already expensive to spend $90 on 2 cards. Now for Vanguard, that's expensive. For other card games, not as much. But to spend $90 times 4, $360 on a playset? What? Are you kidding me? Like, that's insane. So they couldn't justify it. But people kept buying the boxes because the price stayed high. The price was sticky. The price stayed high until the bubble burst. And then there were too many Dotexes on the market. And now people couldn't sell them for $25, $35 anymore. So they dropped it down to $25. They sold maybe a few more there. They dropped it down to $20. And now we're seeing $18 Dotex. Now, Thing Saver went through a similar case. People bought so many BT16. BT16 sold out. Price was up at $30, $35. So many people were buying it because they could make money. But slowly, everyone who had Thing Saver, everyone who wanted Thing Savers had Thing Savers at that price. But people kept buying the boxes, kept flooding the market with Thing Savers. Until the market couldn't bear that price and that match anymore, the bubble popped and somebody said, man, I need to make whatever I can from this card. They dropped the price to 20. Someone says, man, he's dropping to 20, I'm going to drop it to 15. And for a while there, we had $15 to $18 Thing Savers. That's when I picked them up because that's when I wanted them. So 15 to 18 Thing Savers, nice. Luckily, the card experienced a revival per se because Stride brought the card back into favor and made more people want it again, which spiked its price, which is why now it's consistently at 20. It's where I believe it'll stay. Dotex won't get that kind of benefit because Dote will be forever expensive. Dote will never decrease in price. The Dotex will always stay high. So what you see is that these bubbles pop. Glendios is, like I said, another great example because Glendios was rumored to be a 1 per case card. It wasn't the case. But, that's a pun. So people bought boxes and started realizing, wait a minute, this thing shows up just as much as a triple R. And it started at 70. And then went to 50. Then went to 30. Then went to 20. Then went to 18. There was a time where Glendios was 10 because too many people tried to profit from this bubble. Boxes experience the same thing too. But singles is where we see it the most prevalent. People bought BT13 in droves in order to get CBD, but as soon as the bubble popped on CBD, people stopped buying the boxes of BT13. Bushiroad knows this. That's why ever since like BT13, there has been one card where you're like, this is the money card. Sometimes you're not quite sure what that card will be, but you know there will be one. For example, BT13, CBD, BT14, Minerva, BT15, Glendios and the Rebirth, BT16, Thing Saver Dragon, BT17, The Great, GBT01, Dotex. And Cosmic Roar, Grandgallop. Every set has it. It's a bubble maker. Bushiroad doesn't care because they keep selling out. So there's no reason to stop with this bubble mentality. It is harmful for the game in some respects because eventually you're going to have too many bubbles where nobody buys cases in the beginning. And there is none of these cards out there. And then it starts to harm the game. So that's our first lesson. If you have any questions, comments, anything at all, I would love to engage you guys in the comments. Let us know. Just know, be careful when you're buying your boxes early because you might be getting invested in a bubble. And if you see a lot of your friends making money, that doesn't mean that you will. All right, that's Team Absolution, everybody. That's us. We'll see you here next time with Vanguard Lessons. Professor Cap, out.